morning, my beautiful budding bakers. Boom, 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 boom. It is absolutely beautiful, glorious in Carrigaline, County Cork. So I said to myself, I need to do something sweet and delicious and something autumnal to get the old vibes going for Halloween. Even though I know it's next month, so don't panic. I just conjure up all these delicious recipes in my head, so I'm thinking, I need to go with a bang today. Have a look at these beauties on the plate. We are doing the most divine cookies. These are no ordinary cookies. These are cookies that have crushed pretzels inside the cookie, salty sweet dark chocolate, and I'm giving you my last Rolo today. We are also using Rolos. Now these Rolos must be frozen because when you stuff them into these delicious cookies, you will find they will ooze out and they're absolutely scrum-delicious. So, without further ado, I am putting in my ingredients. Now, one of these things, when you're looking, and I keep saying it, but when you're baking in general, if you have everything mise en place, it looks like a complicated recipe. It's not. Yes, there are lots of elements to this particular recipe. So this is where you just breathe way up the night before. Kaboom, this recipe is done in minutes. So we are going to start with some butter. So we have 110 grams of gorgeous butter, in that goes. Then I have got 80 grams of caster sugar, and I have got 230 grams of brown sugar. Now it's the brown sugar that gives it that chewy, sticky. So if you're going to go for the light brown sugar, you're not going to get the same effect because these are absolutely divine. Oop. Oh, I am not doing this again today. I am not having a meltdown with a brand new extension lead. I don't know about you lads, but me and extension leads just don't, I don't know, they just don't love me. And so we're going to start with our machine. So first things first, we are going to beat the living daylights out of my butter and my sugar and my caster sugar. So we've got a mix. We're doing these lovely salty, chewy, divine cookies. So if you can see, you have got a bit of everything. You have got dark chocolate, you've got the pretzels that are mushed in, they're also in the cookie. When you flip it over, you've got the caramel that's peeking through. It is a, oh look at that, sticky, divine chocolate. So she's wiping off her apron, because if I was at home, I would be licking my fingers left, right and centre. So, beat the living daylights out of your butter and your sugar. I will turn it down for just a moment, because what I want to do is just to scrape off the butter at the end of the beater, and off I go. So, put up another little bit just to give it a bit of a beat the living daylights. Woo! Not so much that your sugar goes all over your arm, all over the kitchen. But I need to have that butter mixed well with the brown sugar before I add the rest of the ingredients. Now while we are waiting, we have got one lovely free range egg. We have got a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now with our flour, we have got 270 grams of plain flour. To that plain flour, I am adding 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder, I should think, and half a teaspoon of bread soda. Now the amount of recipes that are in my head is kind of scary. So always refer to the recipe, the written recipe, because sometimes, as I keep mentioning, my mouth speaks faster than Wi-Fi, and sometimes I'll get a recipe mixed up. So, again, I'm trying to get down. Now this can take a minute or two because one of the things, you can see it's still stuck in the beater, one of the things, the butter does have to be firm. Because what I don't want is a complete explosion in the oven, because when you have soft butter making cookies, it spreads. I want just enough spread in these cookies so that they are humongous, but they will slowly spread. If you've got soft butter, they will spread and you'll end up with a tray like a giant pancake cookie. But listen lads, how bad for a giant flapjack cookie? So we've got our butter and we have got the brown sugar and the caster sugar. It's taking a little longer because the butter is so hard. But again, I do not want to end up with spreading cookies because these are absolutely sensational. That's more like it. Now we're sucking diesel. So, the smell already. The other thing as well is when you've got that lovely chocolate brown sugar, you almost get that caramelly toffee smell before you even crack an egg. So that really will lend itself to the flavour of these cookies. Now, I'm going to zoom in the mixer while it's beating so that you can see the consistency of the butter and the sugar. So it's almost like a pate. And I want it to become a paste. So it's nearly there. You can see little nibs of butter. And I want to completely blend it before I add my egg. And this mixture, as it's going round, is slightly hypnotic. So if I look a bit dazed, it's from you looking at the computer. I wonder could I use that? You are looking sleepy. You need to empty the dishwasher and tidy your bedroom. No, whether it will work like this. So, turn down the mixer a little bit. And we're going to add in the egg. Now, just remember I've added my vanilla extract in as well. So I have got my egg with my sugar mix.
Come on in and have a look.
I've got my spoon. Kazoo. Just get that flour mix, a bit of a stir, just to mix in the baking powder and the bread soda. Now, can you see the difference in colour? In goes my flour. So remember, we've got 270 grams of plain flour going in. These are beautiful, soft, chewy, salty, bready, dark chocolate caramelly cookies. And there's no way you can eat just one. Now I am doing this slowly because I want to have the flour mixed in with this cookie dough. And by the way, this cookie dough, even if it's raw, is absolutely gorgeous. Even though technically you shouldn't be eating it because you haven't heat-proofed the flour and there's an egg in it.
Brisket for a biscuit, lads. Brisket for a biscuit.
In goes all my flour. Now I have 30 grams of pretzels. So these pretzels I get, you'll get them in most of the supermarkets. I love the ones I get in Duns and Caroline. I have chopped them up into small little pieces. So you're talking 30 grams. It's going to rattle a bit just because of the pretzels going in. 30 grams of my pretzels. I have got 120 of my dark chocolate pellets. You see the dark chocolate pellets? They're relatively larger than your small packets of chocolate chip. It's because when I'm baking these, you will have the most divine chunk of dark chocolate. One trying to escape. I get my dark chocolate from either Bake World, and we've also got it in Gingerbread House in Middleton. So I have got the turn it down, and I'm going to lift it up to feel the dough. It should be sticky. So can you see? I should be able to roll into a ball, and look, it's quite sticky, putty-like. Okay, lovely. The silence. Silence is golden. Look at that. Boom, 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 boom. Clean as you go. So, the only essential ingredient left, of course, are my Rolos. So, taking the batter off my mixture, or mixer even. Bum, 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 bum. Into the wash it goes. Now, so we have got a cookie dough. So one of the things I'm finding with this particular recipe is that you can decide how small you want to make your cookie dough. I mean, I just scooped up, and that's about a tablespoon. But one of the things I find is that when I'm working with cookies, and particularly with large cookies, I will take a mixture of this batter. Not this batter, it's not a batter because it's not a cake, it's a cookie dough. So I need about 2 tablespoons, but it's like humongous. So looking at it, it is roughly about 60 grams, okay? To 60 to 65 grams of your cookie dough. Kaboom! Now, this is where we have our cookie dough, and I will indent, and I'm going to go and hide this beautiful chocolate Rolo in the center of my cookie and give it a roll. Now, as I said, this recipe has the crushed pretzels in, so you get that gorgeous, I'd nearly sort of say smoky taste to these cookies, and they're absolutely gorgeous. You do not need to put in the pretzels. You do not need to put in the caramel Rolos, but then they wouldn't be salted caramel chocolate chip cookies. So again, we have got about 60 to 65 grams. You can use an ice cream scoop, but I find that the dough isn't too sticky, but it's sticky enough that you can actually manipulate it with your hands. Again, too much on that one. Bring it up to 65. And we have our chocolate Rolo. And in that goes. And continue, continue, continue. Now, before we do anything else, I'm going to be putting those on a tray. And you need to have them wide apart because they spread. We will continue with those in a minute. So, with some of the pretzels you have left over, you are just going to press a few extra pretzels. Not that they're left over, these are extra pretzels. So I now have 3. I have Maldon sea salt. Now I'm going to show you the difference with Maldon sea salt. Maldon sea salt has beautiful flakes. Your table salt is like snuff. It's too fine. You want to have a little bit of crystal sea salt on your cookie. Okay, I'm going to leave these here just because even that should get you, the cookies should not stick together when you've just got 6. So I've got 6, so they should spread out, slightly kiss each other, but not too much. I have lined the baking tray to make it that little bit easier. These will go in a preheated oven. So you're talking 180 degrees preheated oven for 12 minutes. Do not cook them for 13 minutes or even 14 minutes or even 11 minutes. 12 minutes is the secret to having squishy, delicious cookies. And in they go. Alexa, set timer for 12 minutes, please. It's over here, isn't it? Alexa, set timer for 12 minutes.
12 minutes, starting now.
Alexa, myself, we've got this fantastic relationship. So, bringing our cookies. I just want to open one just to show you how delicious these are. So, grab a cookie. So, we have got this gorgeous crinkly skin. We have got the pretzel just as a side. I mean, look, we can even just do another sprinkle, bam, of salt. And then even cracking. Oh, look. Even the, wow. We have got the most divine, delicious, sticky pretzel, chocolate chip, caramel cookies. Mic drop. They are absolutely divine. The secret to these delicious cookies, mise en place, have everything ready. Boom, 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 boom. Clean as you go. So I'm going to click on the kettle. I'm going to have a delicious cup of coffee. I think I shall sit out the back garden, grab maybe 1 or 2 of those delectable cookies, shove them into my gob, and just think of what I'm going to be doing next week. So, without further ado, that was my little treat for today on Sunday. So next week I am going to do something that's healthier than 4,000 calories in a cookie. But sure, listen, as I said, brisket for biscuit, we did it today, and I shall see you next Sunday at 10.